Good morning. Good morning to the Bulls. Nice upside, man. Nice upside. Feels good finally. I need I need some relief in my long term. Damn. Good morning, good morning. A little bit of upside this morning. Nice little push last night. So waking up to some morning upside should be interesting. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Yeah, so here's my long term. One of them. This is like my one that I share, I guess you could say. You could see, look at the plateau on the long term over the last, what is that? Since July. See that right there? Since July, pretty much been at the same value, even with me adding money, right? So I still add money to this every week. But you can see the losses in the stock has sort of stunted the growth, right? But what I love is that during this time of sideways action, right, on the equity, I know that I'm accumulating shares, right? So during this period of sideways accumulation on the portfolio, which is fine, I'm accumulating shares during that period. So when the market, if it does ever, well, it will, when it goes up, right, this will exponentially grow. So, yeah, happy to see a little bit of upside. Needed it after a little bit of downside on the market, right? Nvidia up 214%. Tesla, Apple, AMD, nice. Microsoft, Netflix, Google. AbbVie's flat, huh? Interesting. Shopify. Who saw Shop this morning? Shopify. How many shares I got here? I got 100 in here. I think I have 200 in my E-Trade IRA. Yeah. So not bad, not bad. We'll see what happens. So let's see what happens. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another day, another dollar. So yesterday, right, FOMC, I'll show you, we'll break down the chart during that period. There was a very key hold, right? There was a very key hold on FOMC. There was a very key hold on the NASDAQ and the S&P during that event that caused this upside. It was that 14.6 area that we talked about, right? That golden zone that we had. We were able to break it and hold it, and that was extremely key yesterday, right, on the intraday. And then that 42, we were able to break that 42.50 on the ES. After breaking that 42.50, it was game time, right? So nice holds, nice breaks yesterday, creating that upside move. So today, we have some supplies to watch, right? As always, we got some levels to be cautious of on the upside, and we have some very juicy pullback long opportunities as well, right? I think the best trade in my eyes today is a pullback long, right? I would love to see some kind of a rejection, some kind of a pullback, and then start to see where we can start to enter the market long on something of a pullback, right? That's the key for me today. That's what I want to see, right? We'll see if we get it. You know, we don't have to get a pullback. It doesn't always happen right away. But that, in my eyes, would make me the most comfortable. Pull back to some of these key levels that were broken yesterday, see if they turn into strong support, and then look to long the market off those levels. So we'll see, right? It could be an interesting day. Now, you know, I don't want to get all doom and gloom on everyone, right? Because I know we're feeling a little bit of relief here because of some upside, but you guys have seen it before, you know, just from experience. Sometimes experience puts a dark feeling in your mind sometimes, right? Sometimes experience in trading really gives you the reality. It's not all butterflies and rainbows sometimes. So, the possibility of the market pulling back after yesterday's upside is possible. We've seen it before, right? We have seen it before. That doesn't mean it's going to happen today, but we have to at least understand all the possibilities that could happen, right? So there's sometimes we've seen big upside FOMC. We've seen the next day giving back some of that move, right? It's very possible and something we want to make sure we're aware of today. But we should be able to read the levels and we should be able to know where some of that rejection could come in, right, by reading our levels. So it's not like we're flying blind. It's not like we don't know what could happen, right? The levels should show us, and our intraday reading of those levels should give us insight into where a hold or where a rejection could come in today. And so that's what we're going to do. And that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here. So let's pull up the schedule real quick, and then let's get started. So here we go. Schedule. Futures, economic earnings calendar. So we know the economic calendar's pretty much over for the week. I mean, we have some stuff here. We got jobless claims today. We got productivity today. We got non-farm payrolls tomorrow. I can pull it up for you. We have some stuff to be paying attention to. Do I think that it's more important than what happened yesterday? Probably not. Probably the only thing that's still interesting is Apple earnings tonight. So jobless claims, 8:30. Tomorrow, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly wages, right? So there's still some interesting things here, right? And let's say for some, you got to make sure we know all the possibilities, right? Let's say Apple comes out with a really shitty earnings report, right? What happens to the NASDAQ then, right? What happens to the NASDAQ then? So there's still some question marks, right? There's still some reasons to be cautious, right? Even though we got that big push, still got to be on our top risk management behavior, right? So a big move can maybe make you feel a little bit loose, like you just had a few dirty martinis, like I'm going to go buy some calls today. Everything's good, right? A couple of martinis in, and then Apple earnings, so you got to make sure you stay locked in today, especially after, we get some nice relief. I feel it myself, right? I woke up this morning like, damn, some nice upside. Love it. Let's take some trades today, right? But that's a day where I could slip up. That's a day where I could get a little bit too aggressive, get too bullish, right? And then start to slip up. So got to make sure we stay locked in, stay open to both sides every day, stay completely locked in. Someone reached out to me yesterday, all right? Someone reached out to me yesterday on Instagram and said, I'm surprised you bought calls yesterday. You seem sort of bearish on the live stream. And yesterday I didn't trade any puts, right? I traded the upside yesterday. I took a small QQQ put. But I woke up, I felt a little bit bearish on the market, and I was sort of sharing with you guys some key levels. But the 14.5 hold into open yesterday was key, and it created upside. So we got to make sure we stay open. We'll talk more about that when we get to the actual charts. Chef, Vince, thank you for the Tesla 200 call out, especially the Nvidia 405. I held my breath. You deserve a HT. What's HT? Am I missing? It's probably so easy. HT from all that listen and just take the trade. What is HT? I feel like it's something easy, but I can't think of it right now. If you said H&O, I'd say Hall & Oates, who's just a great artist. Great artists. So that's the economic calendar. Let's pull up the earnings calendar. I'm waiting for someone to tell me what what HT means. Hat tip? Oh, hat tip. Got it. I haven't heard that one before, Chef. I mean, I know what a hat tip is, but I haven't heard that. I haven't seen it be used like that before. So today, guys, let's pull up the earnings calendar real quick. Here it is. So today, this morning, Palantir, Shopify, Eli Lilly, Moderna, Crocs, Penn National. Tonight, Apple, Square, right? DraftKings, Starbucks, Coinbase, Cloudflare, and then that's pretty much the end of the day, guys. So, end of the week. So Shopify this morning was big. We'll talk about that one. And then, of course, Apple tonight. All right. Do I still have cost puts? Yeah, I'm going to take my loss on those probably today. So Tesla 200, very nice hold. Really nice hold. Let's keep an eye on this thing today. Nvidia, what a sick bounce off 400. That's a level we've been eyeing all week. That thing held very strong. Congrats on anyone that took that long. Chef, it looks like you did, so well done. AMD, nice upside yesterday on AMD. Nice earnings, nice continuation. Some key levels to watch there. Amazon 140, big level it's approaching here. Big level 140. Meta 310, that's a very key level today. Microsoft at 350, and then the Shopify upside. Also, I'm going to throw in a few more like Netflix. Netflix held the 100 SMA really well yesterday, so some really nice holds there as well. Google 127, yeah, I mean, I could tell you where every chart is. Google 127, Apple over the 200, Shopify big break. Yeah, I mean, we'll get over everything. We'll try to get over everything we can. Let's just start. Here we go. NASDAQ futures. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. So 4-hour chart, you guys can see larger channel. We held that low. We held that 200, right? We've been talking about that 200 SMA hold. That thing held up very nicely. We were watching this golden zone to see if it would be a rejection or a break above, right? That was sort of our watch all this week. And I can tell you, right, it did not fail, right? The golden zone, the importance at the golden zone did not fail my expectations, right? Look at the price action in that zone. That zone was the exact zone that held and just sort of consolidated before FOMC, right? So this hold, and this was actually the key hold. We were on the voice chat during this period. Actually, do I want to go over this now? I'll go over it during the ES, but it's a little bit cleaner on the ES. But you guys can see, right? We had that pop during FOMC. We rejected. We tried to get under that 580, but we could not, right? And this hold right here at 580 was very key, right? And so we can see that gold area, that zone we've been eyeing, held very nicely yesterday, and that is what is creating your upside today. If you get over, wow, you're squeezing through 14.9 here too. That's big. So the next level we're watching today is this 14.9, but it looks like you're actually squeezing through it right now. So if you squeeze over 14.9 here, this could be your pullback entry long if this market really wants to rip here today, right? So you can see right here, 14.9, right? This little 14.9 area here. If we hold above that 14.9 today, if we get a little break and hold above, right? This could be a nice long entry for 15,000. So that's your next watch here today, 14,900. If we fall back below 14.9, if we fall back below that 20 SMA, then that's a key level to be paying attention to, right? I would not want to be long here, right, in this area unless we're above 14.9, right? I want us to be above 14.9. If we're above that 20, right, then I'm interested in the long continuation. But if I see us fall back below this, right, start to turn the 20 into rejections, then I'd be a little concerned on that upside. I'd be a little bit concerned on that upside. If we go out to the 4-hour chart on the NASDAQ futures, the next major level here is the 15,030, right? That's the real next major level. You guys can see it here on the 4-hour chart. Big rejections here, triple top rejection here, turned it into support here, tried to turn it into support here, but ultimately failed, which led to the big downside, right? And then you can see we are coming back into it. So the major level, the next one that's important, which is probably just as important as this 14.6, right, is now the 15,030, right? We can see that. Look at this 4-hour chart. Where did we have reactions previously? Large reactions in the past. We had some very large reactions at this 15,030 area, right? It was, right? The large reactions were here, right? That's why we had this as a golden zone on the market, right? These were our previous large reactions that we wanted to see if it would reject, right? Or break and hold above. And we got the break and hold above very nicely. So What do we watch today? We watch first, we watch whether we can hold over. Let me get this zoomed in for you guys. We watch whether we can hold over this 14,900. That's key, right? Do we hold above 14,900 today? Do we hold above this double top? Do we hold above some of these previous highs here? Is it exactly 14.9? That's a little bit of a question mark for me now that I'm sort of looking at this, right? This is sort of new analysis for me as well, guys, right? Because this is all sort of unfolding live as we get this move. It might be more like 14,850, right? Because if this does pull back into these highs, let's zoom in over here. Right? If we pull back, let's say we're above, let's say price action is above this 14.9 here. If we pull back, we don't want to short into this double top. We don't want to short into this high here. We don't want to short into these highs here either. Okay, so yeah, it's more like 14,850. So I'm actually going to have that whole zone mapped out. I'm going to have the whole 14.9 to 14,850 zone green, right? And so I know that if we pull back, right, into this zone, this is still a potential long around that 14,850, right? That could still be a nice little long area off the 14,850 level. So what I would want to see, right, is a very nice hold above this 20 SMA, above this 14,850, 14.9 zone. If we can get that hold here today, I would assume that brings us to the 15,000 supply. Right, that would really be my next level. If we can hold here, right, then I would look for that 15,000. If this market sort of wicks back below, right, and if you're a trader, you understand that this could be just as nice, right? If you're actually a trader and you don't have a bias today, this rejection play could be really nice, right? Because let's think about this logically, right? If you get some people that get sort of, start to get too aggressive up here, and you start to get that aggressive back, that aggressive pullback, that wick back down, and you start to get weakness here, there's going to be a lot of people running for the fences, right? And this could be a very nice short side play. And it actually would be the best play for people that want to take longs, right? Because I would be extremely interested in longs back at the 650 zone, right? I would love to take a long back here. I'll take longs up here. I'll be watching for it for some scalps. But where do I really want to be long? Right? I really want to take longs back at the retest of that previous low. Right? If we could do something like this and create like an inverse head and shoulder, right? That would be sexy. Right? That's where I really want to enter longs, right down here. This would be a hot entry long here. Right? So I wouldn't mind getting that nasty rejection today. I wouldn't mind getting some, chasing bulls, sort of taken out here. I wouldn't mind that because I know that if they get taken out here, I could pick up their scraps here and I could get that squeeze back to the upside, right? That's really, all right, guys. If you're a real trader and you actually understand market moves, right? This upside should not really excite you. I'm being completely honest, right? You shouldn't be that excited about longing this upside. You'd rather long that upside. You'd rather short, you'd rather long on pullbacks, right? So it's the market structure would say that this is a little bit too too fast, right? Big moves like this, not great sometimes. I would like a pullback. Right, I would like a pullback. That would make me feel more comfortable, but we'll see, right? We'll see. Maybe we don't get it, right? Maybe we don't get it. We didn't get it here. We got a big pop here, little pullback, but it continued, right? So we might not get the pullback. I might not get my wish, and maybe I do miss out on some of the upside, but this would be the sexy long in my eyes back here. This would be the sexy pullback. For a little, look how clean this could set up. Little inverse head and shoulder, right? Right here. Little inverse head and shoulder. So don't get too, if you get a pullback, right? don't get too worried about, downside. If you get this pullback, make sure you're in your mind, you're telling yourself, hey, this pullback is good. If I'm bullish, I want this pullback. And if we're getting this pullback, I better be watching to see what happens at this golden zone, because if this creates that inverse head and shoulder, if this starts to hold demand at this 600 area, this could be the area that you want to start to long, right? And this could also be that area where you get the people that are just, right? This is just taking advantage of chasers, right? That's all this is. You get the long chasers here today, right? Which could get sort of slammed on a pullback. And then you get the short chasers here back into demand, right? So you're just taking advantage of everyone that's running around chasing the tail of the market. So, hey, does that happen today? I don't know, right? I can never be 100% sure, but that's my game plan, right? If I get this pullback, I'm not going to be looking that aggressive short, right? I'm going to be more interested to see if I can set up longs. So really on the short term here, right, it all depends on if we hold over this 850 zone. If we hold over this 850 zone, right, then we're not going to if we hold over this 850 zone, right, we're not going to get a pullback. Piff, there's no reason to come here and say that, man. I think we were all watching 400. 14,850, right? You guys can see that. 14,850. Very nice. If we hold above that, then we could look for that upside continuation, right? We can look for that upside continuation. If we get back below 850, then I would look for the pullback to that 14.6, right? That would be my idea. 4-hour chart, big level above, right? 4-hour chart, big level above, 15,000, 15,030. That's your major supply above. Hopefully that sort of makes sense, right? Hopefully that the sort of outline of what I'm looking for makes sense. QQQ, 362, right? 362. You guys can see right here, 362. 362, triple top right here, right? 362 support here, 362 support there, 362 rejection there. So what's the level on the Qs today? 362, right? That is very clear. If we can get above 362, right? Then we need to see if we can get above 362 and hold 362, right? Then we can get that upside continuation. If we reject 362, we have to be a little bit cautious, right? We have to be a little bit cautious at 362, right? Why? Why are we a little bit cautious here? Well, number one, big squeeze, right? Number one, big squeeze. Number two, some very major previous rejections, right? We can't ignore this. So some very big previous rejections at 362, and that could be, right? That could be sort of that area where everyone's sort of chasing longs at open today, and it sort of pulls back, right? And what would really be nice here? It would be beautiful to see a pullback, right? A hold at 354, and then the continuation, right? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be a beautiful, once again, inverse head and shoulder, right? Look how clean that would be on the market. So do I want this pullback? Absolutely, right? I would love it. I would really love that pullback. Do I get that pullback? I don't know, right? This thing might just squeeze. That's very possible today. But this is really the structure that I'm looking for in the market. And if I get that pullback, I would love to take that, right? If I get this pullback, I would love to look for some plays here. So we'll see. So today I'm watching 362, right? That's the supply in the Qs. The demand is down at 354. If we squeeze above 362, right, things could just sort of continue here. I wouldn't be able to tell you where because it's sort of a no man's land up here, possibly like up into this 365, 366 area. If I go down to the 1 hour chart, I really don't like longing. If you long today over 362, you would just have to use it as a stop, in my opinion, and I would just take percentage point profits, if that makes sense, right? If I went long over 362, right, I would basically just long here. on a hold and then just sort of take profits as I get a push. I wouldn't really have a target because I'm not too sure what happens up here. I think this is probably your first level to watch here around this 366, right? And then maybe it's like this 50 SMA. All right, I think those are maybe your two levels to watch. These lows here around that 50 SMA, right? Around 364. And then your next level is probably up at this 366. I would say those are your two levels to monitor to the upside. But overall, right? Overall, I think you can sort of get where you can sort of understand what I'm looking for here. I think a pullback is the right thing to look for longs. I don't think you're going to have, I don't think you're going to take the best entries on just a chase long here. I think, once again, if I go to that 4-hour chart, I really like the idea of the QQQ giving us that pullback, holding here, and then longing an inverse head and shoulder. That's really what I want. But again, I don't know. So 362, that's your supply today. I would be very cautious longing anything into 362 today, okay? I would be very cautious longing anything at this point, right? Unless you see a very solid 362 hold, right? Unless you get this today on the intraday, early morning, unless you start to see this form on a break and hold above, I would be very cautious just slamming calls into a 4-hour, right? Into a very clear 4-hour rejection point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 reactions at this 362. I don't think it's in your best interest to just start slam calls at this 362. You need a hold above for upside at this point. All right, and then the other upside would be the pullback, okay? ES, all about 4,300 today, guys. All about 4,300, right? You guys can clearly see it here. 4,300 on the ES. Look how clear this is here today. You can see 4,300 right there, 4,300, 4,300, 4,300, 4,300, right? That is as clear as it can be, 4,300. And you have the 20 SMA sitting right at that level. So, what are we looking for? We're looking to see, does the ES break and hold above 4,300, right? Does the ES break and hold above 4,300? If it does, right, then we look for that upside. If it does, we look for that upside. If we get a break and hold over this 4,300, we can look for that upside entry point. We can look for the long entry using that 4,300 as our stop loss. If we start to see rejections at 4,300, right? If we start to get, a little bit of weakness up at this 4,300 and get that pullback to 4,250, that would be my next really interesting long opportunity. That would be a really, I think, beautiful pullback, a little bit of relief, right? A little bit of a, give back some of this squeeze, hold that 4,200, start to get something like this, and then get that inverse head and shoulder, right? Inverse head and shoulder. The pullback to 4,250 would be the clean entry point that I would be watching for. We'll see if we get it, right? But I know for sure, right, heading into today, I know I'm not going to be longing anything with the ES pushing right into 4,300. That just doesn't make sense, right? I don't want to be entering longs if the ES is pushing its head into 4,300. I want to see it either holding above before I get that long confirmation, right? I would want to take that long on a break and hold above. That's long number 1, right? Or long number 2 is here, right? These are my 2 long ideas on the market. I would not want to be long into that level. I want to wait for it to break and hold above, right? That would be really nice. So 4,300, break and hold above, watch that, and then pull back. Get Mike out of here. I mean, what an idiot. Get him out. Mike, I don't care if you unsubscribe. Go. Get out. What do I care? People, it's like people just can't understand that there's 2 ways to look at a market. Guys, I'm not going to come in here and start, going off about the bullish side of the market. Oh my God, everything's so good. Everyone long everything. It's not, if you want someone, it's not me, right? I'm going to be completely open to both sides. Completely open to both sides. I'm going to tell you where there's long entries, where you need to be careful of shorts, right? Where you need to be cautious on the long side, because I know how many people lose money just chasing one side and not being open to both sides. So I know a lot of you guys aren't like that, but for the idiots that are here that don't like what I'm saying, get out, okay? Just get out. We don't need you here. And I know you're not a trader if that's the way you are, right? I know you're not a trader, right? I know people that, can't listen to both sides. I know you're not a trader. I know you're just a YOLO Robin Hooder. So, yeah, that's not what we need here. So, anyways, 4,300. If you hold above it, right? Blazy, it's fun to me, man. It's a lot of fun to me. I enjoy it, man. I love getting this out. I need this. I need this on a daily basis, right? I need this. I need this little. It's a good time for me. You think I get off this live stream and I care what Mike said? Not for a goddamn second. So 4,300, right? 4,300. If we get above, we hold above. Good long entry. Or if we pull back at 4,250, look for that pullback, look for that hold, and then look for that upside, right? That's what I'd be looking for. All right. Hey, man. It is what it is, right? I try to help you guys, right? I try my best. I try my best to turn that switch in a lot of people's heads, right? That's my purpose, right? I try to be a little bit edgy, right? But brutally honest, because it's the honest truth, right? And I try my best. I try my best to be on the edge of being too much, but also being stern and really, getting these concepts across people's heads, because there's no marshmallows and butterflies in the stock market, right? There's no marshmallows and, oh my God, let's all buy calls and hold hands today together, right? I'm here to take your money, right? I'm in the market to take your money. Whoever you are, you're in the market to take my money, right? This is not we got to be a little bit aggressive at times. We got to be serious. We got to be locked in. So let's go real quick before. Let's look at the jobless claims here. 217 versus 210. Non-farm payrolls 4.17 versus 4.1. So non-farm payrolls, non-farm productivity. Sorry, a little bit higher than expected. Jobless claims about flat, right? It is what it is. I'm not really seeing any movement. Are we seeing anything? Not too much. But before we get into the SPY, right? You guys know what time it is. You know what time it is, right? Before we get into the SPY, it is ad time, because no one pressed the like button. Press that like button. I love how this space doesn't allow BS. Moto, it just doesn't. We don't have time for that, man. It's just not. We don't have time for that. I don't. I'm not here to be the best marketer on YouTube. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to share what I do every single morning. My honest opinion on what I'm looking for. I'm not going to favor one direction because I think that'll get more views. I'm not going to be super bullish today because I think everyone's all retail traders are going to want to see where to long today, right? This is part of my morning system, right? I'm basically doing my morning system just with you guys. So if I'm not going to lie to myself about what levels to watch so that I could market to the masses here, right? It's not what I'm going to be doing. So 426, right? 426 on the SPY, very key level, right? That's the level we need to be cautious of today. We got to be a little bit cautious at 426. Why do I say that? Why do we need to be just a little bit cautious on the upside into 426? Well, let's go ahead and zoom in here. All right, if we go to the hourly chart and we go to, let's get a little bit more time here, we have to be a tad bit cautious here, right? Because if we zoom out and we get this on the hourly, look at some of these reactions at this 426 level, right? You can see right here, 426, previous lows. 426 lows, right? Some rejections here at 426. Look at this little area at 426, right? So is this a little bit concerning to long into? Yes, absolutely, right? Absolutely. It's a little concerning. What do I want to see here, right? What do I want to see here to really take that long after a big squeeze? I'm going to need to see a very strong hold above 426, and then we can look for that squeeze, right? So if I can see a really strong hold over 426, right, then I would love to see that long opportunity, right? Break, hold. If we can hold above, then I want to see that long opportunity on a break and hold above 426. Now, if you get a little bit of rejection here around 426, there is definitely a potential short side play, right? There's going to be a lot of profit takers that open, maybe some people that just want to get out of the calls they held overnight, right? A lot of, sort of weak-handed people, maybe that just want to sort of take profits. And if you get any sign of rejection around this 20 SMA, right? Any sign of rejection around that ES 4300, any sign of rejection around that NASDAQ 15,000 zone, right? There could definitely be some pullback that you have to be aware of, right? We can't not be prepared for that. So watch 426. That's the first level. If you're holding above it today, then I think you could have that upside continuation. If you get a nice solid hold over 426, then I would look for that upside continuation towards 432. If you fall back below, it gets a little bit interesting, right? If you fall back below, this gets a little bit interesting, all right? And you guys already know what I'm going to say, right? Any type of rejection that I see today, I would really love that ultimate pullback, right? This long entry here on the ES would be my favorite entry, right? That's really where I want to be long, because I know I would have that pullback, right? I'd get that nice pullback, some people getting out, right? I start to see that demand hold up. I can have a nice stop loss, a nice entry point. That would be where I'd be really comfortable. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but that's what I'm looking for. So ES 4300, 4250, right? SPY 426. You got to push above. So today, this pre-market into the morning, right? Do we get a hold above, right? Now we turn that green. Do we hold above that level? If we start to see that level hold, long entry possible there, right? And then finally, NASDAQ, if we get a hold above this 14.9, possible long entry, but we have to watch out for that 15,030 area, right? That's the 4-hour supply. So you guys can see right here, 4-hour supply. We have to watch out for that 15,000 zone above, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I hope you take this with an understanding of both sides. It is very important, right? It is very important to be paying attention to both sides for your long-term success on the market. And if you just sort of don't want to hear it, then something needs to change, right? If you don't want to hear it, if you just want to hear the bullish side today, something needs to change. All right. So 214, 214.50 on Tesla. You guys can see right here. 214, 214.50 on Tesla. See that right there? Very important, right? Very important. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rejections at 214.50. If you are longing Tesla into 214.50 today, you have, right? It doesn't make sense, right? I know Tesla might break out. You might make money on that trade, all right? But you still need to understand the concepts, the strategy, trading supply and demand, right? Longing Tesla into this level at open today, if you are below it at open, it doesn't make sense. And if you do it and you make money, you're going to build a bad habit, right? And so if you want to long Tesla and not build bad habits, wait for the break, right? Wait for us to confirm a hold above that triple top and then take the long, right? Don't try to long through this triple top that caused a ridiculously nasty rejection on Tesla, right? Why would we want to long into this triple top? Doesn't make sense. So what do we look for? We look for that triple top to turn into support, right? That would be really nice. If we see Tesla turn this triple top into support, right? That would be a very nice long. That's what I would be looking for today. I don't think you have to, run for the fences on Tesla if you're already holding long from overnight, right? Because, I mean, if you're in at the 200, Chef, you're looking pretty good here, man. I don't think you need to run for the fences right as the market opens, but I would say when I say that, it's new long entries, right? New long entries at this supply is a little bit questionable. So what would I want to see? I'd probably want to see a pullback to this right here, right? This little 205 area, these previous lows in this area right here. That would be a nice little long at this high right here, right at this 205, and then these previous lows. So if you do get that 214 rejection today, let's see if it holds this 205 area. That could be an interesting long, right? Or break and hold above, right? Break and hold above, which could be very nice. Break and hold above, right? So 214.50, that's your key level today on Tesla. If you get above that, you're moving into the 200, you're moving into 222, right? But you have to get above this triple top. Right, you got to get above this 214.50. If not, there's definitely potential for some rejections up here, right? Look at how clear that is. All right. Nvidia. What a 400 hold, man. So hot. I mean, just awesome. So really nice 400 hold. Really nice squeeze yesterday. We longed this thing yesterday, intraday. I took a long on Nvidia over that 412 level. You guys remember that 412 we talked about? Well, you guys can see right here, 412. We had a little break and retest of it on the 2-minute chart yesterday. I'll just go to the 1 minute so I don't have to change that. Whatever, I'll go to the 2 minute. We had a nice little break and retest at the 412 yesterday, right? We had one here, 412, break and retest. And then we had another little bull flag here, which was just really sexy, right? Really sexy. So 412 on Nvidia was awesome yesterday. Long that, really nice trade. I didn't hold overnight just because I sort of played it safe, which I always do. But you guys can see today, right? What's the key level today? In my opinion, it's this 440. It's this 440 level on Nvidia. That's going to be the level that Nvidia will need to break above for some real continuation. All right, so Nvidia, you can see right here, 440, 440, 440, and 440. It's pretty clear that there's a lot of reactions at that 440 area. So the next level that Nvidia will have to break through for upside continuation is very clearly the 440 level. And that's also the 100 SMA above, right? So what would I look for today? What would be the best trade, in my opinion, of the day? I hope you guys can see it because it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. If we get this pullback to 425, 423, I would be extremely interested in a break and hold above these highs. This general low, I know it's not all the way back there, but it's a general low. And then these previous highs here. What a trade that would be, right? What a trade that would be. Break, retest the Thursday highs, retest the Monday highs, hold that as a support, take my long entry here, stop loss maybe under 423, and then look for that pushback up into 440, right? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So looking for that today, right? I don't want to get too aggressive long into 440, into the 20 SMA, into the 100 SMA, into the 50 SMA, right? I don't want to be going long into these zones. I want the pullback, right? I want other people to long this. I want it to reject, right? Maybe reject or just pull back at open. And then I want to pick up the calls that they are getting. I want to be the guy that's buying the calls that they're taking losses on for no reason, right? The only reason they're taking losses on calls here is because they're down too much. They chased an upside move, right? There is absolutely zero reason to be exiting calls at 425 on Nvidia today. If you are exiting a call option on a retest of this previous double top, there's only a few reasons why you'd be doing that, right? The only reason for that is because you chased, you're down too much, you're over leveraged, you're scared about what you're in, you don't know what you're in, you're just sort of trading randomly, right? if this pulls back to 423, 425, this is actually the best place to be entering the opportunity, right? That's really where you want to be entering that opportunity, right? That long opportunity. So I'll look for it, right? I'll look for it. I also could see if that doesn't hold, right? Let's put in a little bit of a secondary level here. If that 425, 423 level does not hold, I could see it coming back to this previous high also, right in this general area. So right around here is also an area that I would be watching, 420, right? I would also consider the 420 as a potential retest level as well. That's some previous highs from this Thursday, and that's also this high right here, right? See that high right there? So if we do get that pullback to 420, I would still be interested. I would still be interested to see if that 420 holds. So pullback opportunities on Nvidia, definitely a big watch for me today, right? Because I know that a pullback will likely get bought up at this point. I know a lot of people are interested in the upside there, and it was a very strong day yesterday. So I know that pullbacks will likely be looked at as opportunities for longs, and I want to be part of that group today. So let's see what happens. AMD, Amazon, Meta. We got to sort of speed up here. We got to speed up. So AMD, right? Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Very nice push on the AMD, right? Very big, very good for the long term today. Big push, right? So what's the level? Well, it's very clear. 4-hour chart, 111. 4-hour chart, 111. So are we longing into 111? No, that's not smart, right? What are we longing today on AMD? We're longing a pullback to 105. If we get a pullback to 105, that's your long, okay? You are not longing at 111. You're not longing into 111. If you get a hold above 111, then you could look for the long, right? If you get something like this, sure, right? I like that idea. I like that on a break and hold above previous double top highs. Or I like a long at 105, right? I don't like a long into that level. I don't want to be long into a 4-hour double top supply level. That doesn't make sense. So look for a break and hold above 111 or look for a pullback to 105. These are your two long entries on AMD today. Or, right, if you want to look short AMD, then you're looking for a 111 rejection. All right, if you want to look short AMD today, you're looking to short only at 111. All right, that's your potential short opportunity up there. All right, so 111, 105, very key channel on AMD. That's what I would be watching. Amazon, 140. Big ass level up here. Amazon 140. 140, a bunch of reactions around 140, 140 here, 140 here. So Amazon 140. Let's see what happens there. If we can hold above 140, this thing might continue, man. If we can hold above 140, this might continue. Amazon's been a strong name, and I would be watching 140, right? 140, 140, 140, right? And look at that 140. So let's see if that thing holds above, right? 140, 140, 140. Break and hold above. That would be a key for that upside continuation. You also have to be cautious of the rejection, right? We got to be cautious of the rejection. So keep an eye on that 140 today on Amazon. I think that's very key. I think that's your key level above. If you get a pullback, this could be a really nice long entry back at the 134.50. You guys remember us talking about the 134.50 yesterday? I'm going to go ahead and zoom in onto the 2-minute chart, and you're going to see exactly what happened yesterday, right? So if we guys remember, let me go ahead and show you. If you remember this chart, right? Remember we looked at the hourly, and we talked about this high? Remember that 134.50 high on Amazon? Let's go down into the 2-minute, and let's take a look at what happened there at 134.50. I know some of you guys in the chat caught this yesterday. This was a sweet, sweet trade. So, rejection 134.50, right? Then you break it, you retest it, you hold it, right? And from that point, that hold of the previous highs at 134.50, it was just upside since then. So, really nice level there yesterday. A pullback to that level would be great. Do we get it? I don't know. 140, right? That's the big one above. 140 on Amazon. That's your big level to be watching early morning today. All right? 140. Meta, Microsoft shop. Meta. So, nice break on Meta, right? Nice break. Nice hold of 300. Look at that hold of 300 yesterday. Beautiful 300 hold Meta. Break above 310, which was a very important supply. You can see 310 rejected, and then we got back above. So today, what are you watching? You're watching 320 and 310. If Meta can give you that pullback, look for that long off 310. If Meta rejects 320, be careful of longing into that. And if Meta gets over 320 and holds above, that could lead to further upside. All right? Pretty clear levels on Meta today. I'm sure you guys remember that 320 level. It's been a big one. We're back at it. So 320, big level to watch on Meta, potential rejection point, or a break and hold above for longs. I think the best long entry is a pullback to 310. Do we get those pullbacks today? I don't know. But I would be aware of it, right? If you start to see some market downside today, look to see if that 310 level holds on Meta. Could be very nice. Microsoft 350. 4-hour chart. Check this out on Microsoft, right? This is big stuff. 4-hour chart right here. 350, 350, 350, 350, 350, right? Look how many times Microsoft rejected 350. Crazy, crazy. So keep an eye on that level today. Is it that great of a risk reward to be longing Microsoft into 350 today? Not really, right? It's not really that great of a risk reward to be starting to enter longs at the exact 4-hour chart level that rejected 5 times already. So you got to keep that in mind, right? Is it that great of an opportunity to long Microsoft into the same level it rejected 4 times over the last 6 months? Not really. So what I would look for is I would want to see Microsoft get above, hold above Microsoft, or hold above 350. That's what you want, right? You want to see a nice 350 demand step up. If you see that 350 start to hold, then we're looking for that potential long opportunity. Also, guys, I just want to make this clear on pretty much everything you're watching today. Make sure you have the previous day highs mapped out on pretty much every stock, right? You got to make sure you're watching previous day highs at all times. So previous day highs sort of here on Nvidia, I think. Maybe that's also, we already have that level, right? Tesla, previous day highs, sort of that right here, that 205. That's sort of that previous day high for me. I know it's a little bit higher, but it's basically that 205 area, right? So previous day highs are always very important. Of course, after a big upside move. Let's go Netflix real quick. I just want to show you something on Netflix. Netflix held the 100 SMA beautifully yesterday. And I didn't really catch this because I was not really watching Netflix at the time. But look at this stuff, right? Previous highs. Look at that hold right there on Netflix at the 100 SMA and the 415 previous highs. That's sexy stuff right there. So this trade's gone, right? I'm not going to chase Netflix upside now. This was your long side entry there yesterday. That's the break and retest long. I mean, look how clean this is. Break, retest, 100 SMA hold, previous double top high hold, right? That's sexy stuff right there. So that's the long I would have wanted to be a part of. That's the long I would have wanted to be a part of. I have no interest in being long now. If we come back down into it, I'll look for it. But I know, right, this was my strategy, and this was the trade that I would have taken. I did not take it. So I'm not going to now look at Netflix and say, shit, I missed Netflix longs. Let's try to chase this thing up higher, right? No, right? That's not the mindset we want to have. Our mindset here should be, hey, that was a sexy break and retest. That was a perfect 100 SMA hold, a perfect hold of the previous highs. I didn't take the trade, and now I have to accept that I missed that trade, right? That will save you. Guys, trust me, that mindset will save you from so many losses. Even if you miss out on some of this upside, I can guarantee you over the long term of your trading, I know it's hard to think long term, but if you think about this long term, that mindset right there will probably stop me from taking 20, 30, 40 trades a year where I just chase the hell out of something, right? And it's just not worth my time. So That's the mindset I approach. If I see a break and retest that I did not catch, I don't even look at the stock because I know that was the entry point on Netflix. People that long tier are raking in the cash, and everyone that's chasing those coattails are likely going to be the losers, and I'm not going to be a part of that. So last one I got for you guys is Shopify. 4-hour chart, 30-minute chart, big squeeze on earnings, guys. I really don't have much for you. I figured I'd just share Shopify because I love Shop. I'm the one-eyed Shop bull, right? You guys know that. I don't really know where Shop goes from here. I haven't looked at Shop in weeks. But I would say this 57 level is a little bit heavy, right? I would say that 57 level is a little bit heavy here. I'd watch 57 on Shop. I think that's a little bit heavy. Keep an eye on that level today. All right, let's go over the futures real quick. Where are we at? We're still squeezing. Oh, look at that little hold. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, that's hot. Look at that little hold of 14.9 right there. Damn. Anyone trade that on the future side? If you did, well done, man. That's a nice little hold right there. A 14.9. Look at that break and retest. Break, retest, 14.9. Bam. That's hot. That's very hot. ES pushing right into 4,300. This is going to be interesting stuff here today, guys. It should be a good day, right? There should be absolutely some really good trading opportunities today. I'm very much looking forward to it. Watch the 4,300 on ES and watch the 15,000 on NASDAQ, all right? 15,000 NASDAQ, 4,300 ES. Look to see if this 14.9 can hold. Look at that break and retest that's already happened. That is hot, right? That was a nice little trade right there. Obviously, that's short term, but that's really clean stuff. So you know what level needs to hold, right? You can see it. This area will need to hold. No reason to short into this area today, right? No reason to try to short into demand today. Obviously, the market's strong. It's been in a strong trend. Don't try to short into demand, right? If you're going to short something today, you need to see this start to fail back below this zone, right? Wait for that fail back below. Then maybe you can get that downside panic, right? But you're not going to try to short into that demand. I would be more interested in waiting for the pullback and looking to see if there is a long there, right? All right. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a couple charts, a couple banning people, a couple idiots, right? It's always a good time. I enjoy it. I hope you do too. Sorry if I offend anyone. This is not the place for me to hold your hand. I'm going to be brutally honest with everyone that comes here. I want the people that are here to appreciate that, right? Because we're talking about money here. We're talking about money, right? Losing money if you're not right. Losing your hard-earned money if you come into this market with an idiot mentality, right? That is not what I will try. I will not allow that here on this channel because this is not like we're throwing around paper monopoly money and we can just be, blah, blah, blah. Let's just, let's think about this. Let's not care about that. No, right? This is your money that you've worked hard for. I work hard for my money, and we need to be serious right here, right? That's what I want this place to be. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. All right. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you keep on coming back for more. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.